Hello everyone, welcome to Winged Paper Crafting, and welcome to Fun Fold Friday. My name is Angel Fitch, and if you're new around here, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you've all decided to join me today. As I said, it's Fun Fold Friday, so we're going to use our Fun Fold template that we made on Tuesday during Template Tuesday. If you're just finding this now, in the description box below, there'll be a link to the video where you can learn how we made this template. So we're going to use this to make our Valentine's card today. So let me get this all started here. So the first thing we need is a card base. So I've got this Poppy Parade card base that's 4 1/4 by 11. I've scored it at 5 1/2. We're going to give that a good burnish so we make sure it lays nice and flat. And then I've cut off 2 inches off of the front of this card. So you'll see that the front layer is shorter than the back layer. So then we need our cardstock. So the first we're going to use is this basic white. Here's our piece for the inside. It's 4 by 5 1/4, so it's going to go here. We are going to stamp on that here in a minute. I've got another piece of white that is 3 3/8 by 4. I've got this piece that's 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. This is going to be part of our diamond focal point that we put on the front. And then I've got a little piece that we're going to use for the sentiment. So that's just kind of a scrap, but we're going to stamp on that. And then we need another cardstock. So this is Poppy Parade. It goes with the base. So we're going to use that as part of our diamond. I've got pattern paper. Let's see, we've got a piece that is 2 by 3 7/8 that's going to go right here. This one is 3 1/4 by 3 7/8, and it's going to layer up on our white cardstock here and go on the front. And our pattern paper that goes in our diamond is 2 by 2. So let's go ahead and get this put together. So I'm going to put this aside because we're going to do our stamping here in a minute. So I'm going to put that in a pile up here. And let's see, where can we start? Let's start with this piece. So we're going to use this pattern paper, came from the Endless Love paper pack that's new. And this, all the cards, if you stick around to the end, I've got some other examples to show you. And all of the cards today came from this same paper pack. So I kind of went crazy with Valentine's. So let's get this first piece down here. Put some glue on that, and then I'm just going to center it up on this piece of white cardstock. And this has a very, very tiny border, which I don't always do this tiny of a border, but this time I thought it looked pretty cool, so we're leaving it like that. So there's this piece now that's going to go here, so we can go ahead and put that down. And I may have to dig out another bottle of glue here soon because this one, almost empty. Okay, so we're going to center this up now on to the front of our card base. So that looks pretty good. Let's push this down. Okay, next we need to do our stamping because that is, oh, I guess we could put our diamond together. All right, so let's put our diamond together and then we'll do our stamping. So I've got the first mat here, which is our Poppy Parade. Then I'm going to put the white piece on next. So I'm just going to center that up. And just kind of like that. And this actual white piece is a little bigger than what's in the directions here. So this says it's 2 1/2. Well, actually, no, it is 2 1/2. I'm sorry, I lied. This one's fine. There are a couple I did in the examples that are a little smaller, and I did that on purpose for a reason, but I'll show you here when we get there. So my brain is thinking ahead. So let's get our little pattern piece on here. It's the pattern piece that's a little smaller. So this says it's 2 by 2, and this is fine. This is what we did for this one. I did 2 by 2. But in some of the other examples, I made this 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and I'll show you how that turns out too. So you could do it either way. Just depends on how much white space you want. So there's that. Let's go ahead and get our stamping done. We are going to stamp in Poppy Parade. And for our outside sentiment, we're just going to use this little piece of scrap paper. And in this bundle that, this Endless Love, there is this stamp right here. It says Sending You. So I'm going to stamp that on this little piece of paper. And then we're going to go ahead and cut a banner. We're going to banner it, dovetail it. So we're going to have a nice little banner piece for the front. So let me ink up our Stamping You. I'm going to line this up on my glass mat so it hopefully starts straight. And then I might have a stand a chance of getting it straight in the end. So I'm going to try to, I can just put this down. It doesn't really matter. But I'm going to try to go more to the left-hand side because I'm going to banner the right-hand side. So this will just mean I have to cut off less if we do it like this. So I'm going to push this down. And there is our Sending You. Okay. We'll put that to the side. Now on the inside, let's go ahead and put this little piece down first before I do the stamping because I want to make sure that I got the spacing down right. So I'm going to put some glue on this. Make sure I get the corners here. Okay, so I'm just going to put this on this side right here. This is going to have a tiny little border, top, bottom, and on the right edge. So just kind of like that. So we'll give that a good push. Now this is the part I can stamp on. So I'm going to stamp from this same stamp set. I'm going to do Happy Valentine's Day. So it's in 3 separate stamps. So we're going to start with Happy. So let's ink this one up. And we'll line this up again so we hopefully can get this straight. And see that? I got ink already. Oh my goodness. I'm always getting my finger in the ink. Alright, it's okay, we can fix it. Okay, so let's do the Happy right up here. So we've got Happy, and we'll ink up the Valentine's. It wouldn't be a video if we didn't have an ink disaster, now would it? It never fails. Okay, so Valentine's is going to go next. So I'm going to scoot that just barely to the edge of our pattern paper here. So I'm going to push this down. So we've got Valentine's, and then Day would be our last stamp. So I'm going to put that right over here at the edge. Okay, so we've got Happy Valentine's Day. So let's put the ink away. And I'm going to grab my sand eraser, and real quick I'm going to try to get this little smudge of ink off of here. If you don't have one of these mono sand erasers, you can get them off Amazon pretty cheap, and they are a lifesaver. If you do any stamping, this is something that you should invest in, because it really helps when you're like me and you stick your finger in the ink pad and then you get it everywhere. So you just got to give this a little couple of passes here, and it just basically takes the top layer of your paper off, and you can't tell, you can't see it, and you can't really feel it, so nobody will never know it's there except me and you. So there, looks good. Okay, let's go ahead and get this down on the inside of our card. And then we'll finish our front. So let's get this down right here. So we're just going to center this up in here. That looks pretty good. So we'll give this a good push. Okay, now look at that. Isn't that so pretty? All right, I'm going to put the glue away for just a second. We're going to take our little banner here or our little piece of paper that we stamped on. I'm going to just take my scissors and I'm going to just kind of cut this off right here. And I'm just going to take this, I'm going to cut up just a little ways in the middle. And then I'll start from each corner, and we're just going to give this a nice little dovetail. Just like that. So, easy. Easy peasy. All right, so that's going to go on here. This is going to go on here. So let's put our diamond on first. So as we put this down, it's going to go pretty close to the edge of that front flap. So I know that I don't want to get glue past the 2 points. So we need to keep glue to the left-hand side of the points. So let's see if we've got enough left in here to get this down. And we hopefully do. Okay, so now I'm just going to center this up so it's just kind of, the points are just barely on the front flap. So just kind of like this. We'll give this a good push. And then we want to open it up and make sure that we didn't get too much glue beyond where it needs to go. So there was just a little, but I think I got that off. Because you don't want to glue your card shut, because that would just be disastrous. Okay, now we have to figure out where we're going to put our little sentiment here. So let's see, I'm going to trim this off just a little bit more on this edge. We have just a little more room to put this on. So I don't know, we can put it down there. I think I kind of like it up here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a dimensional, or a couple of dimensionals, and put to the left hand side of this. Now it doesn't need dimensionals all the way across because it's sitting on top of these 3 layers of our diamond. So that kind of makes this right hand side already popped up a little bit. So I think we'll do one more right there. And then we'll put glue on the edge here that's left. Just kind of like this. And we'll put this down right here. So, okay, just like that. Perfect. Okay, so now we need a little bit of bling. So in this same suite came these loose Valentine's assortment. And it's kind of all these tiny little hearts and envelopes. And the hearts are in a bunch of different colors of pink. One of them being this Poppy Parade. So I'm going to get a couple of these Poppy Parade hearts. And we will put them... Oh, that's funny. That looks like a pair of lips. That's so funny. Look at that. Huh? Too cute. Too cute, too cute. Let's see if we can find a couple of more Poppy Parade hearts. And not lips. Let's see. There's one. I just need one more. I'm just going to put 3. Oops. That's a set of lips. All right. We need one more heart. Here we go. I think that's 3. There we go. All right. Let's put this back away. And put the lid on it, because the last thing I want to do is spill that everywhere. Alright, so now we're going to take our little hearts that we dug out here, and we're just going to put those on with just a little bit of glue. So I'm going to use my take your pick tool to kind of pick these up. See if I can get just a dab of glue on there, and we'll put it right here in the corner. Right, like, whoops, sticking to my finger. All right, so we're going to put that down right there. If I can get it straight. There. All right, so just like that. Now, let's get this one. And we'll do the same thing, just the tiniest bit of glue. And we're going to put that one down right here. Or not. They want to keep sticking to me and not the paper. All right, let's turn this around so it's straight. Quite possibly we might get there eventually. There we go. All right, so I'm going to push that down. And now we've got one more. Let's see. And we've got just a little bit of glue on that, and we'll put it right here. And there we go. Isn't that so cute? Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so let's look at our other examples. So let's see, we've got this one we made today. And here's one. Same pattern suite, same pack of paper. But I was like, on this one we used the same pattern paper on all 3 places where the pattern paper went. And this one I used 3 different ones. And this one is on Cherry Cobbler, which goes very well with this paper. And then I just stamped this and just kind of fussy cut that out. So that was that one. And then we've got this one. Again, I used all 3 of the same pattern of paper on this one. And then on this one, I did just like we did today, and I used this. So these, I made the heart a little, or the pattern paper a little bigger on these. But this one, I liked that, and this one in particular, I cut it a little smaller because I used a die to cut this, because I particularly wanted just this color of the hearts that were on that page. Because the page was all hearts, but in different shades of pink. And so I wanted that in particular, so I used a die so I could get that out of there. But I think they all turned out so cute. So let me know which one is your favorite. You know, leave me a comment and let me know. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and ring that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. And I will be back tomorrow with our last December paper pumpkin for December. And then next week we're going to do some more Valentine's cards. So be sure and come back and join us. And that's all I have for today. So have a crafty evening. Bye.